How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Cinematic Vinyl. If everything looks very similar to the previous video, that's because I'm filming them back to back, right after each other. This is part 2 of my November Criterion 2024 sale pickups. It's another 5 of them I got. Like I said, I went a little heavy on the November sale this year because I didn't partake in the July sale. So instead of doing, half and half, one in July, one in November, I kind of skipped July and then kind of made up for it in November. So here's another 5 films that I picked out. Some of them I've seen before, some of them I haven't seen. And let's go through and see what we got. All right, so the first one I got was from a director I had seen another film from, which turned out to be, it was a blind pick from Criterion, and it ended up being one of my favorite blind picks. It were really just my favorite films I picked up from Criterion, and that was The Portrait of a Lady on Fire. And this is from the same director. This came out in 2021, and it's spine number 1181. And the director is... Man, I'm going to butcher this. All right. It's Celine Sciamma. Celine Sciamma? Celine Sciamma. Right there. I will say this this cover got a little messed up. The paper that's on the inside. It was pouring rain the day that I got this shipment. I had to order these, and it was pouring rain. Luckily, all of the films were like sealed and like saran wrapped, or they were sealed. But this is the one film that was like partially open, and it got inside, and like you can see that it's like kind of wrinkled and discolored and stuff. What are you gonna do? I don't know. The disc is fine, so it's not damaged in there. The booklets seem fine from the inside, so yeah. What are you gonna do? Not the end of the world. The disc is fine. So, but anyways, I saw Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I think last year. I picked it up and watched it. It's an amazing film. I really love that film. If you haven't seen Portrait of a Lady on Fire, I highly recommend checking that out. It's a beautiful kind of love story. Lots of feminism going on, female empowerment. Just a really good film, in my opinion. Great dialogue. The cinematography is beautiful. Just a really interesting, cool love story that's different than anything I'd seen before. So I highly recommend that. That's why I wanted to watch this, because this is her follow-up film. This is the film after she did that. And yeah, I hear this is really, really good. It's about kind of childhood and like going, there's a lot of like your inner child, essentially, type of a thing. It's a mother and daughter story. It's told in a kind of fantastical, almost sci-fi way. So I really want to check this out. That's what I know about it. And yeah, I'm excited to look at that. That's Petite Maman. Did I say that before? It's Petite Maman, which means small something in French, I'm sure. But yeah, so I'm very excited to check that out. Once again, that is 1181. And yeah, that is one of the picks that I got. Okay, this next one is one I actually picked up after the sale, but Amazon a lot of times will have Criterion films at a 50% kind of a range. This was even more than 50%, and this is a newer release, and it was in 4K. It was like $18, which is really weird and bizarre, but it's sealed and brand new for 18 bucks. This is The Piano. It's from 1993, and it is spine number 1110. If you can see that there, 1110. Beautiful cover here. Really nice cover. I did watch the trailer for this film. I know it's got Harvey Keitel, and I'm not going to know the actor Well, maybe I'll say the actor, actually. Yeah, okay, so Sam Neill, who is the main character in Jurassic Park, he's like the main guy, the archaeologist, or whatever he is. Archaeologist? Something. Dinosaur research guy in Jurassic Park. And then Anna Paquin, very young Anna Paquin. I was first introduced to her from like X-Men. And I know she was in True Blood, that show, the vampire show. But this is her like debut, and she was very young, and she actually won an Oscar for her performance in this. So very exciting. And then there's also Harvey Keitel. He's got like some weird nose tattoos. Very interesting. There's also a actress in here who it does not mention on the back. Very strange. There's another female lead that's in here that it does not mention in the paragraph. But this is supposed to be very good. Like I said, I mean, we got Oscars coming in. Wait, who directed this? This is a Jane Campion film. But yeah, this is very cool. I think it takes place in New Zealand, which explains Harvey Keitel's tattoos on his face. Yeah, 19th century New Zealand. Yeah, Harvey Keitel's kind of got some Maori tattoos on him. So, interesting. He kind of seems like a menacing guy from the trailer. But yeah, I didn't know too much about this, but now I do. And I'm excited to check this out, pick it out. And it's 4K. Once again, I'm loving that. I'm trying to focus more on 4Ks going forward. So the piano, I had to pick it up. It was, hang on. I got the itches back. Okay. I don't know why it was $18. It was $18 brand new, 4K. I had to pick that up. When you see something for $18, you got to pick it up. You know, had to go for it. So it was a great deal. That's the piano. All right, next up on the list. Can you see these movies? Are you guys sneak peeking? Hang on. Oh, secrets. Hang on. I'm gonna block it. There you go. Don't look ahead. Anyway, the next film I picked out was a suggestion from my girlfriend. She said that this was a great movie. It's in the Criterion collection. Other people seem to think it's a great movie as well. It came out in the year 2000. It is spine number 1097. And that is Love and Basketball. This is Gina Prince Bythewood? Yeah. I do not know much about this film, other than I think it's a love story. It's produced by Spike Lee and written and directed by Gina Prince Bythewood. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that. You know me, I am the worst with names, but I do my best to try to respectfully say the name of all these films. Yeah, let's read this back here. It says, sparks fly both on and off the court in this groundbreaking feature debut by writer-director Gina Prince Bythewood, who elevated the coming-of-age romance by giving honest expression to the challenges female athletes face in a world that doesn't see them as equal. Sana Lathan and Omar Epps make for one of the most iconic screen couples of the 2000s as the basketball-obsessed next-door neighbors who find love over flirtatious pickup games fall apart under the strain of high-pressure college hoops and family and drift in and out of each other's lives as they pursue their twin aspirations of playing professionally. Very interesting. I'm not going to read the rest of it, but that sounds pretty interesting. I'm a sucker for a good love story. This seems pretty awesome. I'm excited to check this one out. This is Love and Basketball, and it's by number 1097. Okay. So the next film is actually a film that I've seen. I think the first time I saw it was actually on the Criterion channel. So I streamed it. It's a movie about food, which I'm a big fan of, and kind of all aspects of food and like how our relationship is with food. It came out in 1985. It's spy number 868. And that, of course, is Tampopo. Tampopo, man, this movie is very interesting. I've always been a foodie, right? So I've always been interested in food, whether it's cooking or eating. Food's just like kind of a love language, right? It's beautiful. Food's kind of beautiful and like it's so different and unique in everybody's cultures, right? Foods from around the world, and it's such a expression of culture, of love, of everything. So this kind of celebrates that and kind of shows different aspects of food and different people's relationship with food. It's a series of like kind of short films almost. There's like unique little adventures that we go on throughout the thing, and like almost like an anthology, or like there's little vignettes of like different things. All in while we're like following this one woman who owns a ramen shop and is like on the brinks of being bankrupt, or like the shop's gonna close or something. She's either fallen out of love of ramen, or like she just never knew how to like precisely make ramen, right? But she has this ramen shop for whatever reason. I forget why. Maybe it was given to her. Either way, she's got a ramen shop that's dying. There's these truck drivers that are blowing through town. They're stopping by. They stop by here. Somehow these truck drivers are like ramen experts. And she finds this out and is like, please teach me about ramen. Please, I really need to know. And like they, for some reason, agree to like help her. And then there's like, they train her and they go and check out all these other ramen shops and like see what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, all that type of stuff. And yeah, it's an interesting film. It's kind of crazy. It's got a lot of different things. This is by oh man, I'm not even gonna say this director because I'm just gonna butcher that name. But that's the director right there. It's Juzo Itami. Juzo Itami. I'm sure that's not how you say that name. But yeah, this is really cool. And I really enjoyed this film. This film really blew me away. Just kind of unique and different. There is also a scene with an egg, a raw egg. And if you see this film, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, just a unique film about food and different cultures and how they're just their relationship to food and stuff. So I really enjoyed this film. It's Tampopo, and I highly recommend this one. All right, last one for this video, and this one is a strange one. I saw this one not on Criterion. I think it was on streaming on HBO. Fun tip, little fact: if you don't have Criterion channel, but you do have Max, Max does carry a lot of Criterion films. So if you're interested in dabbling into some Criterion films, some like more art house, obscure foreign films, whatever it may be, I do recommend checking out Max. If you go to Max and you just search Criterion, a lot of Criterion films will show up. So just a little pro tip if you want to check those out. This one was on there. This one came out in 2015. It is spine number 896. And this one is called The Lure. This is a horror musical from Polish director. All right, this one I'm definitely not going to try to pronounce. But if you can see it, that is how it's read. Yeah, I can't even get started on that one. But anyway, this movie is pretty crazy. Like I said, it's a horror musical, which the only other horror musicals I can really think of is like Sweeney Todd. And I really like Sweeney Todd. When I watch this film, this is kind of a version of The Little Mermaid. Kind of, but it is not The Little Mermaid whatsoever, just so you know. Just a heads up, this is not a kid's movie. This is a horror movie that has a lot of violence and a lot of nudity. More so in the nudity than the violence, but it's graphic. And it's got some grimy, you know, stuff. But it's really beautiful in a sense. I liked the musical numbers in it. I liked, it's kind of got this punk rock, edgy kind of feel. It's interesting. It's interesting for sure. This is one to check out. It's a weird, interesting kind of movie. If you're into kind of musicals, if you're into kind of horror movies, this is it, like a slasher movie or like a straight up horror movie. But it's got this like horror element to it, almost like the old Grimm tales. Is that what they are? Yeah, those kind of older tales, folklores is what I'm trying to say. Like kind of those kind of things. Yeah, I don't know. This is the lore. This is crazy. I would recommend checking it out, but it's definitely a niche film. It's not for everybody. Not everyone's gonna love this film, but it took me by surprise, and that's why I had to pick it up. And that is The Lure. All right, so that was 5 more videos I got from Criterion from the Barnes & Noble winter sale. That's a mouthful every time. But I have a few more. I think I have about 7 more. I will do 7 in the next video. All right, I'll see you on the next one.